A patrolling officer notices a driver slumped over at the wheel of her car with a darkened pelvic area, suspecting the driver had been drinking. The officer shines a flashlight onto the woman and notices that the darkened spot is not urine as suspected, but blood.
Lisa's a 27-year-old female patient brought to the ER after collapsing in a parking lot with a lot of blood on her pants. ER diagnosis of dysfunctional uterine bleeding due to uterine fibroids. She reports that she was bleeding at increasing amounts over the past 5 months. Discharged with hydroxyprogesterone acetate for 7 days to stop uterine bleeding and iron supplements. Wait, 5 months? That's just... I can't understand how she let that get to that point. She must have noticed like how pale she looked, even how tired she was. Whatever, I have to get to that later. Anyway, can't say I'm familiar with this medication. It says here it's not used in the case of fibroids. Wonder why the prescriber chose it. But she's not pregnant, so the medication's okay there. On her sign-in sheet, she didn't indicate breast tenderness, skin reactions, or abdominal pain, so no side effects from the long-acting contraceptive. Well, time to do what I do best. Educate.
Come in!
Hi Lisa, my name's Jean, and I'm going to be teaching you about the medications the clinic provider has prescribed you.
That sounds good. I don't want this to happen a third time.
The clinic provider wants you to continue the same dose of iron supplements until your next visit.
Yeah, green food can't be good. With cramps and heartburn, it had to be a bad batch of pills.
Okay, we can fix that. First, with no results of blood in your stool, the green poo is normal, and you can take the iron with food to prevent cramps. We prefer without food since that decreases iron effects, but it's more important that you're comfortable taking it, so with food it is. Don't lie down after taking them to prevent heartburn, and the food will help. You're just starting the medication, so these experiences are normal, but they'll go away with time. In several months and with dietary changes, you might not even need the iron anymore. But right now, your chronic blood loss requires it. You may feel more energized.
I also heard that I should take it with orange juice.
Well, it can help with absorption, but it can make those unpleasant side effects you talked about earlier worse. There's no advantage to it since your dose and the length of time prescribed should be enough.
Mental note. Orange juice plus iron equals unhappy tummy.
Next, the clinic provider wants to start you on an oral contraceptive to regulate your menstrual cycle to avoid these long periods.
I was on one before. I took it every day at the same time, and there were instructions on what to do if I missed one. 3 rules were medication, 1 was just sugar. Using it stopped me from having to buy pads every few days for 3 months. I should have had stock in Kotex.
Good. This one works the same. Remember that skin darkening, especially on the face, is normal. It has no effects on cervical or breast cancer, and will monitor your blood pressure.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember all of that.
That's understandable. I made a summary chart for you to have with our clinic number if you have questions. By the way, I noticed in the hospital records you said the bleeding lasted 5 months, but earlier you said 3.
I'm used to no periods for months and then having one for a few weeks. I usually use tampons and pads to control it, but the tampons just caught clots. The longest time before was 3 months, but it cleared up on its own, so this time I just let it be. An ER nurse was upset that I didn't notice how pale I was, but it's easier for him since he just met me. I see my face every day. They said my body made my blood pressure and stuff seem normal to make up for all the bleeding. I thought I was tired from extra work I've taken on, and stress caused the headaches. I still don't get how I missed it.
The oral contraceptive should help your period become regular. but breakthrough bleeding could send you to the ER again. If you decide to use just pads, remember, using more than 1 pad per an hour equals ER, even on these medications.
Now I know what to look for. Guess I'll see you in 3 months. Thanks, Nurse Jean.
I guess I can understand now. Lisa had so much going on and thought it was normal. I was on the outside looking in. She seemed real interested in how to care for her medical condition, and I guess I learned that collaborating care with the patient seems like the best way to set them up for success. Seems like Peplau had some good ideas.